Hi all, welcome to Eduflare Academy. So next we are dive into a new session of our PYQ discussion. These previous year questions are your secret weapon to crack CTET exam with confidence. So always give importance to these PYQ discussions because these all questions are taken from previous year question papers. Okay. So today we are dealing with our chapter 2 in child development and pedagogy, that is principle of child development. So this is one of the most important area in psychology or child development and pedagogy area. Okay, principle of child development. So after analyzing the previous year question, approximately one or two questions are regularly one or two questions are asked from this chapter. So remember that sometimes this 1 or 2 mark is enough to qualify the exam. So each mark is very important. So two or three questions are regularly asked from this area. That is principle. The focused topics in this chapter are principle of child development, factors influencing child development, and child psychology. Okay, let's move on to the first question. The first question is, a statement is given there. What is the statement? An important precondition for the proper development of a child is ensuring her healthy physical development. An important precondition for the proper development of a child is what? Ensuring her or his healthy physical development. Okay, so that is the proper, which means the proper development is related to physical development. So when we look into the options, option 1, this statement may be incorrect as development varies from individual to individual. Second option is true because physical development occupies the topmost place in the sequence of development. Option C is true because physical development is interrelated with the other domains of development, not domains. There's a spelling mistake, sorry, it's domains. Okay, domains of development. And the last option is untrue as physical development does not affect other domains of development in any way. Okay, so which option is related to the statement? So I'll give 10 seconds to find out the answer. Try to find out the answer yourself. Okay. Okay, let's analyze the answer. What is the statement given there? The statement is important precondition for the proper development of a child is ensuring her healthy physical development. So this statement is correct or wrong? What's the solution? The correct answer is option C. What is option C? The statement is true. Why? Because physical development is interrelated with the other domains of development. I'm already told this topic in our earlier classes. Development is sequential. Okay, so which means which interrelated with the other domains of development. So that is why physical development is interrelated with the other domains of development. So the statement is correct. What is the reason for this answer? Physical development is closely connected to cognitive, social, and emotional development. Okay, the physical development is closely related to cognitive development of the child, social development of the child, and emotional development of the child. So for example, good health and motor skills enable a child to explore the environment, interact socially, and participate in learning activities. So while development varies among individuals, physical well-being is still an important foundation for overall growth. Okay, which means if a child do not possess a good physical development, the other domains of development get weak. Okay, so that is why the all domains of development, cognitive, social, emotional, all physical, all these development terms are interrelated. So that is why we say that development is a sequential, or development follows a sequential order. And the second question is, which principle of development suggests that different body systems grows at different rates? That is systems. Okay, which principle of development suggests that different body systems grows at different rates? This is very important question. Okay, this is very important area, that is cephalocaudal principle, proximo-distal. These are the most important areas in this chapter. Cephalocaudal principle, proximo-distal principle, the principle of hierarchical integration, the principle of independence of system. Okay, most of the students are facing confusion while saw these two options, cephalocaudal and proximo-distal. So you need to ensure the correct meaning of these principles. Okay, so I will give 10 seconds, try to find out the answer. Okay, so the principle of development suggests that different body systems grows at a different rates. So which is related to the option D. What is option D? The principle of independence of system. Okay, why this option? This principle states that different body systems, what are the different body systems? Like the nerve system, lymphatic system, and reproductive system, etc., grow at different rates and at different times. We know that in different body system are grow at a different rate and different times. We know that. For example, the nerve system develops more rapidly in early childhood, while the reproductive system develops more during the period of adolescence. Okay, so this is related to the principle of independence. Okay, then what are the meaning of other options? Cephalocaudal principle, one of the important point that is cephalocaudal principle, that is growth from head to toe. Okay, cephalocaudal principle implies growth from head to toe. Okay, the second one, proximo-distal principle, which means growth from the center outward. So these two principles are very important. Okay, principle of hierarchical integration, which means simple skills develop first, then combine into complex skills. So this is principle of hierarchical integration. Okay, don't get confused with the cephalocaudal principle and the proximo-distal principle. Okay, the third question is, which principle of development does this illustrate? That is, the child learns to stand, that is learns to stand before he can walk, and babble before she talks. The child learns to stand before he can walk and babble before she talks. I give 10 seconds, find out the answer. So what the question implies, we know that first the child learn to stand with a support, or anyway, first the child learn to stand, and after he learns stand alone, then he start to walk. Okay, then the child make babble sounds, then after the child talks. So this is related to which principle? What's the correct answer? Development is sequential. That is first option. Option A is correct. This is a very important point. Development is sequential. Why the development is sequential? The example shows that the child learns to stand before walking and babbles before talking. So all kinds of development take place in different time periods. Okay, first the child learned to stand, not learn to walk. Okay, first he learned to stand, then after he learned to walk, then what happens? in next example, before walking and babble before talking. Okay, the child do not directly talk, they first babble and then the child learn to talk. So that is why we call development is a sequential process, or it follows a sequential order. This means development follows an orderly, predictable sequence. One stage comes before another. So that is very important. Development follows an orderly, predictable sequence. Okay. So this is our today's session. These are the one of 3 important questions. First session. Okay. I think hope you understand the topic. Thank you.